when you leave 1.3 million youth rotting in the streets, you are not just destroying their future, you are actively laying the dynamite under the very foundation of the Republic of Ghana. The nation records of yesterday are telling us that they are better than the nation records of today. To me, the NDC and the MPP equals nation records. These two political parties, they are nation records.
They call it the fourth estate, a pillar that holds power accountable. But look at the media today. It's an auction house. Every station owned by a politician, every journalist a PR officer. You have traded the pen of truth for the envelope of silence. What is a job without a soul? Act like the fourth estate.
What does a nation look like when it decides to eat its own future? You are looking at it every single morning outside the foreign embassies and the passport office. You see there our best brains, our most energetic youth standing in the sun for hours, desperate to buy a one-way ticket out of the land of their birth. We have turned this country into a waiting room, a place where you pay a massive amount of money to get an education, acquire a skill, and then you sit at home waiting for a life that never comes. Recently, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, admitted at a forum that our youth do not need inspirational rhetoric. They need jobs. And I agree. The youth need jobs. But rhetoric is all this government and the past government has been serving for decades. Both NPP and NDC, they've been serving us rhetoric for decades. They tell you to be an entrepreneur, to be entrepreneurial and create your own jobs while they tax mobile money, tax your internet, and tax the very air you breathe. Today, we are looking at the mouth of despair. We are exposing why our graduates are fleeing and why the leaders are perfectly happy letting them go. Welcome to the hard truth. Now, let us steer away the bureaucratic language for a moment. The Ghana Statistical Service tells us that over 1.3 million young Ghanaians aged 15 to 24 are currently classified as NEET. You know what that means? That means not in education, not in employment or training. That is over 21% of that entire group sitting completely idle. But idle is a polite, diplomatic word. Let us talk about the brutal psychology of what idle actually means. Let us look at it. Let us talk about what happens to the human soul when a young person wakes up every single morning with absolutely nowhere to go. Let us look at that. You wake up early in the morning, you don't even know where you are even going. That is what young people are going through. That is what the youth of this nation are going through. The first thing they wake up and do is they have to check their bets. Because when you wake up and you have a job, and I'm not talking about any kind of nonsense job that they will pay you 800 cedis and pitans where you cannot even buy common food for yourself or pay your rent or pay your electricity bill. I'm talking about a job that you spent 4 years in the university, acquired a certificate, to get. And this is the jobs we are talking about. When a young person wakes up early in the morning, now even the young people, they don't even wake up early like 6, they wake up around 2 and they shout, "Hey, Adebechibiu, am I going to wake up again?" Our leaders, I just want you to picture the psychological torture of the Ghanaian graduates. You spent 4 years in the university. Your parents sell their lands. They take high interest loans and they wear the same clothes for years just to pay your fees. Now you graduate at 23, full of fire and ambition, and you tell them, "Man, Dad, it's my turn to take care of you." And then reality hits you. Year 1 pass, you are printing CVs. Year 2 passes, you are working from office to office trying to get a job under the hot sun. By year 3, at 26 years old, you are still at home begging your retired, exhausted parents for 20 cedis just to buy food. Do you know what that does to a human being? Something fundamental breaks inside of you. Your self-worth evaporates. The pride of being a man, the dignity of being a woman, the pride of being a man, the dignity of being a woman, it is crushed under the weight of feeling utterly useless. You begin to hate the society that birthed you. You begin to feel invincible. Your friends begin to disrespect you because you are jobless. It's not as if you are lazy. It's not as if you don't want to work. And an invincible, humiliated generation is the most dangerous weapon on earth. Yeah. Now, this brings me to the hard truth that the politicians in the Jubilee House are terrified to say out loud. This is not just a social economic failure. This is not just a social economic failure. It is a ticking bomb. It is a ticking time bomb. This is a category 5 national security threat, a national security crisis. Yeah. We sit on national television and condemn the youth for going into cybercrime, for getting involved in fraud, and for looking for quick money. We act shocked when thousands of brilliant young minds, youth who could have been coding, they could have been coding digital solutions for our agriculture or finance sectors, are now using that exact same brilliance to engineer complex fraud schemes online just to put food on the table. Their rent. These youth are forced into a life of crime they never would have dreamed of, because survival is a biological instinct that completely ignores your morality. You cannot starve a generation and then act shocked when they become wolves. And look at our young women, brilliant, educated young ladies are being forced into the transactional sex economy, what we casually call hookups, just to pay rent, feed themselves, and support their families. They are selling their dignity and risking their health, not because they want to, but because the government has failed to provide an environment where a woman can get a clean credible job based on pure merit. So now, if you are a woman, and even if you are qualified, you are intelligent, and you want a job in the private sector or even the government sector, you have to sleep with somebody. We all know this. You can't get a job just because you are a graduate or you got first class in the university. You have to sleep with somebody. This is going on. In this country, everybody is quiet. Everybody is quiet. Now, zoom out and look at the national security implications. You have 1.3 million people with no income, no asset, no hope, and absolutely nothing to lose. Yeah, they have nothing to lose. You wake up, you don't have a job, you have no income, you have no hope. It's easy for a lady to do prostitution. It's easy for a guy to enter into fraud because the big fishes, the big men have decided to hoard the money for themselves and their family. They don't want to help the youth establish jobs, create factories, bring investors. How hard is that? How hard is that? You hear some MP somewhere saying that if everybody decides to sell Indomie, does this make sense to you? You are saying the youth, those who have gone to school, gotten their degrees, 4 years in the university, they should go and sell Indomie. I'm not saying selling Indomie is a bad thing, but for a serious nation, no, see, for that MP to say that Indomie, even health-wise, Indomie, how can you even say Indomie? We should go and sell Indomie. Health-wise, is Indomie the best food to sell? You didn't even say go and sell Gobe. Indomie. You are calculating. If you sell one box of... We need to be careful. We need to be very careful as a country. Historically, what happens when you have a massive population of angry, hungry, and humiliated youth? What happens is you invite instability. You make your nation a fertile breeding ground for radicalization. When a young man cannot afford a bowl of kinky or a plate of rice, he does not care about your democratic credentials. He does not care about your GDP growth rate. He will listen to anyone, any extremist, any populist, any criminal syndicate who hands him 100 cedi note and gives him a target to point his anger at. We think we are a peaceful nation. We brag about our stability, but peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the presence of justice, equity, and opportunity. The peace we are currently enjoying is artificial. It is the silence before the earthquake. When you leave 1.3 million youth rotting in the streets, you are not just destroying their future, you are actively laying the dynamite under the very foundation of the Republic of Ghana. Yeah, that is what you are doing. You think everything is about election. Just after election, bam, MPP start their campaign. Change will come. We are changing the government, the new president in 2028. Are we serious as a nation? So it's all about election. It's all about election. It's all about election. Now, the nation records of yesterday are telling us that the nation records of today, they are telling us that they are better than the nation records of today. The nation records of yesterday are telling us that they are better than the nation records of today. To me, the NDC and the MPP equals nation records. These two political parties, they are nation records. You just left government 8 years ago. Mismanagement, total chaos. Everything that is you are complaining of now, just some few years ago, you never listened to anybody when you were talking, when you were speaking, when people were telling you this is wrong, this is bad. You are arresting people. Today you are complaining. You are complaining. You are complaining because you created that. You guys, you think we are playing. You think you are joking with our lives. You are playing with the lives and the future of the youth. You think this everything is about politics? Hey, you think it's about politics when you wake up in the morning and you don't have money, you don't have any job, you don't have anywhere to go. People think it's politics. You just come and you go to a radio station and start talking. And I'm buying way. You told us what? You were just there over a year ago. You were in government when you were passing those useless laws. We told you that this is wrong. You never listened. Today, just one and some half years in opposition, you want us to believe that this current government, they are the nation wreckers, and you guys are the saints. No, you are the nation wreckers. Both of you, the two political parties, you are the nation wreckers. You think we don't know what you guys are doing. You think we are fools. You think we don't know the psychological the psychological battle you are battling with our minds. We know. We know. We know. You cannot deceive anyone anymore. You cannot deceive us anymore. You just left government and now you are complaining because yours was better. Or so you are better than who? You are all failures. This is not the Ghana and Nkrumah wished for. Nothing works in this country. No jobs. Nothing. Imagine there is nothing like YouTube content creation. This country would have been a dead zone. Trust me. If there was no YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, social media in general, how would this youth? Because now this is what people are surviving on. They are surviving on quick loans. Now those who are even working, when their salary comes, they take quick loan and pay. They take their salary and pay the quick loan. So what they do is you take a quick loan. When they pay you at the end of the month, then you pay the quick loan. Then you go back to zero. And you have to stake bet. You have to stake bet. And if you're a lady, you have to have like 4 guys who are hammering you every day. This is paying your rent. This is paying your hair. This is buying you food. This is what the leaders have turned the youth into. This is what you have turned us into. Now, let's look at the leadership side of this catastrophe. They tell us there are no jobs. They say the public sector is full. Fine. If the public sector cannot absorb the youth, where is the aggressive strategy to bring in big corporations and multinational companies to set up massive hubs here? Where are the aggressive strategies? You are telling us that the public sector is full. Where are the aggressive strategies to bring in these big companies? Look at countries like India, Rwanda. sit and wait. They created highly attractive zero bureaucracy zones. They went to the biggest tech giant, the biggest automotive manufacturers, and the biggest financial institutions and said, we have millions of English speaking, educated, tech savvy youth. Come and set up your regional headquarters here, and we will give you the infrastructure. Where is that aggressive drive in Ghana? Where is that aggressive drive? All we do, wake up early in the morning, MPP, NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP, NDC, partisan politics, stupidity. Instead of rolling out the red carpet for big corporations to create thousands of credible, high-paying jobs for the youth, our government creates a hostile tax environment that scares investors away before they even land at the airport. They would rather overtax the dying local businesses than do the hard work of negotiating massive global deals to employ the youth. They leave the youth to rot in the sun and then turn around and hold entrepreneurship seminars telling them to sell coconut, indomie, start a side hustle. I went to school to come and start a side hustle. No. When you go to school, what you do is you get a job. After school, you get a job, and decent job. You build yourself, start gathering, saving. Then later, you can establish yourself, become an entrepreneur. That is what you do. You don't come out from a university where your school fees are being paid by your parents, and you just become an entrepreneur. Does this make sense? You cannot develop a nation like this. You cannot build a nation. You cannot develop a nation on side hustles alone. We need massive industrial and corporate employers. Let us take the journey to the ministry's enclave in Accra. Let us look at a specific building, painted, fully air-conditioned, with a massive signboard. It reads, the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. I want every Ghanaian watching. I want every Ghanaian watching to ask themselves a very simple, very dangerous question. What exactly do the people in that building, that Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, ask yourself, what exactly do they do all day in that building? Because they are not creating any jobs. Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. What is your job? Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. Ministry of Employment. What is your job? We have 1.3 million youth classified as not in education, not under employment or training. We have a youth unemployment rate that is statistically mind-boggling and socially terrifying. So, if your entire mandate, your sole reason for existing on the taxpayers' budget is to manage employment, and the country is currently drowning in historic unemployment crisis, are you actually working, or you are just occupying space? Are you working? Minister, what is your job? Minister, what is your job? Because 1.3 million youth are classified as not in education, not in employment or training. So it's either they are doing fraud, it's either they are doing betting, it's either they are doing prostitution, hookup, it's either they are just there. There are people who are just there. Yeah. Minister, what is your job? Now, let us systematically tear apart the mandate of this Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. They tell us their mission is to formulate labor policies, coordinate employment opportunities, and manage industrial relations. Yeah, but let us look at the reality. They are not the Ministry of Employment. They have become the Ministry of Unemployment Management. Yeah, their job is not to create jobs. Their job is to occasionally show up on television, throw around big grammar, quote statistics they borrow from Ghana Statistical Service, and hold press conference to calm the anger of the starving youth. That is their job. Let's talk about their favorite public relation gimmick, the national job fairs. The national job fairs. What was that? The national job fairs. Really? The national job fairs. Have you ever witnessed the absolute indignity of a government-sponsored job fair in this country? The ministry rent out the Accra International Conference Center or a stadium. They bring in a few dozen companies and then they open the gate. Tens of thousands of brilliant, desperate, sweating graduates stampede into the arena, clutching their brown envelopes, fighting each other just to drop a CV into a cardboard box for a company that is only looking to hire 3 people. And what does the minister do? The minister arrives in a convoy of V8 fueled by the taxpayer, walks the red carpet, takes photos for the evening news, and claims the ministry is bridging the gap between employers and the youth. Hey, this country, oh, it is an insult to the intelligence of the Ghanaian graduate. You cannot bridge an unemployment gap with a photo app. A job fair does not magically create jobs in the dead economy. No. We have a long way to go as a country. We have a long way, very long way to go. It is an insult. Yeah. It is simply an insult. Because those certificates they are not going anywhere. What those job fairs, it simply gathers the unemployed in one room, so the government can pretend they care. Now, if this ministry actually was functioning, we wouldn't need specific job fairs. We would have real-time digitized national labor database. Yeah, because if this ministry is really functioning, that is what we will get: a real-time digitized national labor database. If I am the Minister of Employment, my dashboard should tell me exactly how many engineers graduated from NAST, KNUST this year. Yeah, because if I'm a minister, I should be able to know from my dashboard. It should tell me how many nurses are sitting at home, and my daily aggressive mandate should be knocking on the doors of the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade, and the international corporations to forcefully carve out quotas for this specific graduate. Hello, my name is Kojo Pills, and if you are watching this video right now, I want you to hit the subscribe button and like the video right now before you continue. And if you are watching on Facebook, I want you to go to YouTube, search for Veritas Media Network. You see something like this. There are a lot of Veritas media there, but you see this Veritas Media logo and everything there. Please subscribe to our channel. because we are about to drop videos every day, and we are going to bring out the corrupt officials. We are going to name and shame without fear or favor. We are going to go everywhere. We are going to go to the industries. We are going to go to the factories, the private institutions. We are going to where the journalists, the stomach journalists are afraid to go. We are going to bring everything to light. This is the hard truth. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Now you can continue. But they don't do that. Do you know why? Because there is no accountability for failure. Think about the profound irony. The directors, the chief directors, and the ministers sitting inside the Ministry of Employment have the most secure jobs in the country. Yeah. They receive their salaries every day, every month. Per diems, travel, allowance and everything. They receive everything. Their jobs are secure. They don't care about the youth. These directors and ministers and what do they do? They don't do anything. They just wake up early in the morning, sit in their cars. Even the doors are open for them. They sit in. They drive straight. They drive them straight to the office. They open the gate for them. They hold their bags. They go and sit in their office, air-conditioned office, doing nothing. These are our leaders. These are the leaders we are living our destinies to. These are the people we voted for. These are the people we call leaders. Every month, salaries, they receive it. They receive their fuel coupons. They receive their per diems. Their children are comfortable. They are getting paid millions of cedis annually to oversee a system where millions of youth have absolutely nothing. If a CEO in the private sector delivered a 21% failure rate of their core metric, they would be fired by the board of directors by lunchtime. But in our government, catastrophic failure simply ends you another term in office. We must begin to ask the hard questions about the structure of our government. Why do we maintain institutions that exist only in name? If the Ministry of Trade is suffocating businesses with taxes and the Ministry of Finance is locking up the capital, what power does the Ministry of Employment actually have? They have become toothless bulldog, a glorified administrative desk that simply archives the misery of the Ghanaian worker. Yeah, if they cannot execute a revolutionary, aggressive strategy to negotiate with global multinationals to bring factories and tech hubs to this country, if they cannot force the government to implement tax holidays for youth startups, if they cannot mandate a local hire quota for foreign companies mining our gold and drilling our oil, then what are we paying them for? It is time to audit the establishment. If an institution is bleeding the taxpayer to coordinate employment, but the only thing growing is unemployment, then that institution must be radically overhauled or completely abolished. Yeah, we don't need a ministry that talks about jobs. We need a ministry that goes to war for the Ghanaian youth. And right now, the youth are fighting this war completely alone. Yeah, we are fighting the war alone. Look at me. We are fighting alone. Everything has become about elections. Yeah, everything has become about elections. Now, who do we hold responsible for this mass exodus and youth despair? I say, one, the political elite. Yeah, the first people we hold responsible are the political elite, because they do not care that the youth are starving because their own children are isolated. Their children are educated abroad using the money you paid in tax. They come back and are handed the few juicy jobs in state institutions without ever having to write an application letter. No. Yeah. They don't even write application letter. They call them, when you finish school, your job is ready. But the ordinary citizen, the poor child, the Makola woman who had to wake up 4 a.m. to work for her son to be educated, will not get that opportunity. Will not get that opportunity. But their children, their jobs are already waiting for them. The second people we need to blame, on the second institution we must blame, is the Ministry of Finance. Because you cannot expect the youth to create businesses when the cost of capital is sky high and the tax net is a noose. They suffocate startup before they can even breathe, and then turn around to ask why the youth are not creating jobs. We do not need more seminars or motivational quotes. We need a fundamental shift in how we treat human capital. Now, here is the blueprint. 1, we need a 3-year tax holiday. We need the 3-year tax holiday. That is, any business fully owned and operated by a Ghanaian under the age of 35 must be granted a complete tax holiday for its first 3 years. Yeah, let them grow before you milk them. So the first thing we need from the Ministry of Finance, we need a 3-year tax holiday for any Ghanaian, any business that is fully operated by any Ghanaian under the age of 35. We need to have a complete tax holiday for the first 3 years. Yeah. And 2, any foreign company getting a license to operate in our telecommunications, mining, or banking sectors must be legally bonded to ensure that at least 40% of their middle and upper management are drawn directly from the local youth talent. Yeah. Now, also, we need to aggressively create tax-free digital and manufacturing zones specifically designed to attract global tech and manufacturing firms to employ thousands of our graduates. Yeah. We need an aggressive corporate incentives. Yeah. A tax-free digital and manufacturing zones, tax-free, which is designed to attract global tech and manufacturing firms to employ thousands of the youth. Because we cannot rely on military, police, immigration, fire service, and prison service jobs. Those who are there, the people who are in fire service, the graduates who are going there, trust me, if today you give them the opportunity or the advantage not to go, they will not go. If you give them another job, they will choose not to go to those services. We need to look at these things. And this goes to the Ministry of Finance. Minister, it is not about reading budgets. It is not about reading budgets. These things are practical things that anyone can just do. Anybody can do this. You can do this, Minister. We beg you, Minister. You can do some things like to the leaders sitting in the air-conditioned offices. You think because the youth are quiet, they are content? You think because they are not routing in the streets, all is well? They are not routing because they are busy planning their escape. They are saving up for visa fees. They are writing IELTS exams. They are leaving you with the elderly, the sick, and the hollowed out nation. And for those who cannot leave, they are doing whatever they have to do to survive. They are in the trenches of cybercrime and transactional sex because you gave them no other choice. If you do not create a country where a young person can dream, work, and thrive, you will soon be leaders of a ghost town. The youth are not the future of Ghana anymore. They are becoming the future of other countries. Yeah, the youth are becoming the future of other countries like the USA, like the Canada, like the Arab countries. Give them a reason to stay and prepare to turn off the light yourself. Yeah. My name is Kojo Pills, and this is the hard truth. Good night.